Yo, hey folks, it's Kevin here, Big K Horror. It's been quite a while since I've done a video or a horror haul, and I'm about to do my Christmas horror haul. And I know it's already toward the middle to end of January of 2016, but I just haven't been able to do a video for a while, just due to my introversion or being introverted, and I just have been going through a lot of bipolar depression and such here lately, so I just haven't been able to do a video. And so I figured, why not? I'll do one now. It was a very kind of small Christmas for me this year. So, I've had, like a parent, get me, a few movies here. I'd had my friend Tim from Tennessee send me a couple of movies, and my best friend Mike here in town gave me a couple of Christmas presents. So, it was a really small Christmas, but it was a pretty cool Christmas nonetheless. So, I'll get right to that and show you some of my horror movies and horror stuff I got. All right, I'll start off with what my parents got me. I'll start off with some of the movies. First off, I got the Blu-ray to one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations, and that is John Carpenter's Christine on Blu-ray right here. I absolutely love this movie. I love the score, the acting, the whole revenge plot, the bullying and all that. I loved it. So I got that in my collection now. This next movie was on the list of the best of 2014 or 2015 movies, and I finally got to see it, and it's one of my favorite movies of the past year. I thought it was a great, great film, and that is Starry Eyes. I love the whole take on the whole conspiracy of Hollywood run by Satanists, and I love the whole feel it had, like kind of the House of the Devil, Ty West House of the Devil, how it kind of had a classic 70s horror feel to it, with the whole mix of Satanism and the whole David Cronenberg horror, bodily horror element. And then the last half of it was kind of like a very aggressively violent kind of Charles Manson home invasion horror kind of element to it. And I give this 2 thumbs up. Okay, next up, I got this movie that kind of just came out of nowhere. I mean, it was a slasher film that came out in the 80s and 83 and then re-released in 87, but it was kind of like a movie that kind of fell under the cracks. No one ever really talked about it since. And Arrow did a re-release it this past winter, and my one of my parents got it for me, and it was and now it's one of my favorite slasher films. Just everything from the very brutal effects done by someone who went on to become a very big Hollywood effects man, working for Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and other big Hollywood films. And it's got a great assaulting synthesizer score, a very high body count, and it's just a fun movie. And I'm talking about Blood Rage. And this is also a Thanksgiving themed horror film, and this is the official artwork right here. And if you're into slasher movies such as The Burning, The Mutilator, Pieces, Slaughter High, Happy Birthday to Me, Prom Night, those kind of things, you definitely have to watch this film or get it. It fits right into the canon of those films. It's not just for slasher purists, it's for any slasher movie loving fan. Okay, next up, I got this. I requested this movie because I watched a Kurt Cobain documentary on HBO called Montage of Heck. And this movie was mentioned in it, and it's a late 70s movie about a bunch of teenagers going on a revolt against the adults in their town. And it's called Over the Edge, and it's, I believe, Matt Dillon's very first film. But it's kind of about, a bunch of teenagers, causing a ruckus in their town over the adults that are trying to oppress them. And interestingly enough, it was filmed around the same area as Columbine, where Columbine High School was back in the late 70s. And it has a lot of social commentary about the youth. And it's a very, very good film. So I highly suggest it. But it's a great, great film. Okay, next up, one of my other family members got me, and they live up north, but they got me the complete 8 seasons box set of the sitcom Wings from NBC that ran during the 90s. And if anybody knows me, knows this is my favorite sitcom ever. I had way back like in the 2000s, I bought the 8 seasons, but those discs got all scratched up and messed up, and they're hardly playable. So now I have the complete set now. Okay, last but not least, also got this film guide, this new film guide called Heavy Metal Movies. And it's just a film guide of all sorts of different horror movies and other such movies, but, you know, also with emphasis of movies with heavy metal, you know, soundtracks into them. And it's a really good, fun read. And I love movie film guides. If you can't tell, on my shelf over there, I got a bunch of them. All right. 2 used VHSs, and they were dirt cheap on Amazon. I'm talking about like $2 or whatever I got from family members. Were one from I believe from Australia or New Zealand. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend no foreigners out there. Maybe it's from New Zealand, I'm not sure, but it's a very what's the word I'm looking for, stylistic, very stylistic, and very well shot and suspenseful and even gory at times. But it's called Next of Kin, and I've always wanted to see this when I was a little kid, when I'd go to the video store and look through the VHS covers and stuff. But I finally got it, and I really loved it. Okay, next up is a shot-on-video horror film that came out in the 80s during the whole shot-on video, shot-on, you know, super film, or, you know, yeah, shot on video horror. That's Blood Cult. Very highly enjoyed this one, and I guess sometime down the road, if I can find a very cheap copy, use Revenge, the sequel to this one, I would like to try to track that one down. But that'll be sometime down the road because I'm pretty much broke. Okay. Okay, next up, my friend Tim got me some Christmas presents he sent me in a box, and the first up is the Shout Factory release of the 70s supernatural classic, The Sentinel. This one creeped me the hell out of me as a little kid when I first saw it. Okay, next up is Italian Giallo collection, which I haven't still seen yet, but I remember when it came out Best Buy a long time ago in 2004 when I was working at Red Lobster, and I saw it, was I working at Red Lobster in 2004? No, I don't think so. But whenever this came out, I think I was working at Red Lobster still or so, or I was working in the mall. I don't remember. But when it came out, I was very curious to see this one, and I finally now have it. I still have yet to watch it, and it's called Lamberto Bava's Delirium. And it's by Lamberto Bava, who directed Demons and Demons 2 and A Blade in the Dark, which I'm a fan of those films. So I'm looking forward to watching this one. Okay, next up, I got the box set of The Decline of Western Civilization, which is by director Panoply Spheris, who part 1 was about the rise of the punk and hardcore punk scene in California during the mid to late 70s, early 80s. Part 2 is about the heavy metal hair scene in the early to mid 80s in the California scene and whatnot. And part 3 is about the tragic homeless scene and punks during, I believe, the 80s and 90s. So that's the Decline of Western Civilization, a box set put out by Shout Factory. And I believe that was used. And next up, I got one of my favorite shows put out in box set. I have the other box sets for the Ghosts and the Bizarre Murders, but now I have the Unsolved Mysteries box set for the UFOs collection. So now I have 3 of those. Okay, next up, my friend Mike my best friend Mike, who I hang out with here in town, like once, like every 2 weeks or whatever. He got me the reaction figures of A Big Trouble in Little China, of the Kim Cattrall figure. So I'm gonna be hanging that up on my wall, along with my reaction figure for Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. Okay, and next he got me the Blu-ray. He found this in the $5 bargain bin at Walmart, he told me, but for Silent Night, Deadly Night Blu-ray. And then next up he got me also